Any questions? Sean?
Hi. You were talking about Gareth Ennis earlier, and I actually just finished reading The Preacher today. And something that I not necessarily had a problem with, but noticed in it was it seemed like he had a lot of messages that he wanted to get across in the book, a lot of morals. And specifically with the character of Hair Star, penis-looking dude. It seemed to me that he had compromised that character's integrity to make sure that he could get the message across, specifically of sometimes religious leaders abuse the power given to them by the people. And I was wondering, as someone who likes to have messages and stuff, or at least comment on things with his work, have you ever found an inherent compromise?
If he specifically created that character for that purpose, which he did, because it's a finite work, how can he have compromised it?
Well, I just felt like the character himself, especially towards the end, there was a one-shot for Hair Star.
Yes.
And especially in that, it seemed like there was this almost just, it was a particular way of viewing the world that kind of got lost through the last, I would say, 3 chapters of the work. And I was just wondering if you ever found yourself any inherent conflict between character and message in any of your works?
Well, I mean, some of the works are specifically about the conflict between character and message. I mean, it's a big part of Transmetropolitan. The fact that, you know, fame and attention can actually get in the way of the message or pervert the message. So I've written things about that. I've not had what I think you're talking about, which is the writer's conflict between the character and what you want to make the character say.
Answer your question, Sean?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good. Guy in the blue shirt?
Hi, I've got 2 questions for you. First of all, do you ever feel any pressure to draw out your stories and pad them up more than you need to?
No.
Just to make sure
No, because if they didn't need to be that long, then I wouldn't make them that long.
Okay, it's just that I heard it from a few friends. When you were reading Transmetropolitan, we found that sometimes Spider Jerusalem would go on for a bit too much and repeat the point that he's a good guy who does bad.
You heard that from your friends, did you? You know, I've got to say, I don't remember your friends being in the fucking room at the time. Your other question?
Are you by any chance related to the artist Warren Ellis?
No.
This is quite a comic called Planet Karen, you just have the same surname, so you never know.
This isn't, he's not from Ireland where everyone is related. It's slightly different. I think Graham, the man with the Transmet tattoo, has a question.
No, it's not, it's just a random.
Try to be less sycophantic, Graham.
Speak, man!
I'm glad we're writing for 2 minutes. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Warren. I'm absolutely a huge fan of Transmet. Thank you very much for getting close to the world. I'm just wondering, I'm also a big fan of Hunter Thompson, and there's clearly a lot of, parallels between...
A little bit.
And you're obviously a big fan of God's journalism yourself. I'm just wondering, during the time that Hunter was alive, did he ever get in touch with you about the work that you were doing with...
No. I had the opportunity to meet him a couple of times, but I turned both of them down. It was magazines wanting to send me out to Woody Creek.
Right, okay.
And I just thought, on the one hand, the chances of me returning alive. And on the other hand, don't meet your heroes if you can possibly help it, because the odds are against it turning out well.
You seem lovely.
I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky, but friends of mine have had that sort of thing turn out very badly. And the upshot of that has been, for my friends, they can't read the books anymore.
Oh.
And I thought I'd rather not meet him and have the books, rather than otherwise.
Did Ralph Steadman ever approach you to do sort of like a collaboration as an illustrator with some of your work, or to do sort of a...
I'm sorry?
Do you know Ralph Steadman, the illustrator?
Yes.
Did he ever approach you to kind of do any sort of collaboration?
No reason why he would. But I tell you what, when the Fear and Loathing film was made, they sort of reanimated Hunter and put him on the PR tour. He was doing a lot of camera interviews. and I watched one of them, and he was wearing this hat, and there was this little black plastic spider placed just there in the hat band. And I remember, I looked at it, that's odd. And then I saw another interview, and it was a different hat, but the spider was still there in the hat band. And after 2 or 3 times, I'm thinking, I don't want to sound paranoid. I don't want to say the words, I think Hunter S. Thompson is sending me messages through his but I'm starting to wonder. And yeah, I just decided to leave that a mystery. I figured it was safer that way, yeah.
Matt has a question.
Speaking of paranoid, I'm just so very curious about your relationship with Mark Miller. And
Matt is, by the way, the biggest Mark Miller fan in Galway. The way Mark Miller masturbates a pile of money, he masturbates over the thought of Mark Miller masturbating.
I have known Mark a very, very long time. I have known Mark since the days he was spreading rumours that a certain comics editor's stomach was that fat and that shape because he had a small boy shoved down there. I like Mark. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could comfortably spit him, but I've known Mark a long time and I like him immensely. Does that help?
But are you going to be at his Comic-Con in London?
I don't know, simply because I think I've got another commitment somewhere else.
What do you think about his efforts at making the Comic-Con in London?
Efforts. Damning.
Yeah, we'll ask that question after it comes off. I think he's doing it with the best of intentions.
Do you have any issue with the fact that Paul Crabbin has been doing the London Comic Arts Festival for the last few years? That Mark Miller thinks this is the very first comics festival.
That's just Mark. That's just Mark wanting PR.
Okay.
Mark knows the papers aren't going to talk to him if he says, well, it's the 18th convention in London this year. No one wants that story. What they want is, it's the only comics convention in London and Mark Millar's there and all his Hollywood friends. That is going to bring the press to the door.